the second class 3A and 3D. Do you want to start with those two today?
Yes, please.
Awesome. Okay. So do you have a compass and the maps that I sent to you available?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. Also, it would be a little bit easier for me if you could also have your camera on.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
That's all right. Okay. So, to start off, I'm going to talk about the compass a little bit. Can I see the one that you have? Awesome. Okay.
YPT.
Yeah.
You want to mention YPT? I'm here.
Yeah. Okay, I know. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, so on your compass, then let's see. So using your compass, first of all, if you want to go in a certain direction, then you can use the compass, and it has all the different degrees. I believe you understand that. So, how much do you know about the compass beforehand?
You're supposed to set it at true north.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, yes, centering at true north is a process which we call adjusting for declination. So, there's magnetic north, and then there's the north that we use on things such as maps. So, depending on your location, the north that your compass will point at, which is magnetic north, will be off from true north. So we'll definitely get to that. Now, on your compass, does it rotate?
Yes.
Okay. And it also has the arrow, that, right? A red arrow on it? Or
Yeah.
it may be some other color. So that arrow is called the direction of travel arrow. So it's used when you're using your compass, you turn the compass so that whichever direction, say you want to go directly east, you'll turn it to 90 degrees because that's where east is located. So that east is pointing in the same way as the arrow, if you can see that. Yeah, awesome. So then next after that, what you'll do is you want to make sure that you lay the compass flat because that helps the arrow move more easily. And you'll rotate it until the arrow that points north lines up with north, which is typically red. Yeah. And then from there, you would follow the direction of travel arrow. So mine is pointing that way, so I'd turn myself to face that way and head in that direction in order to head straight east. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. So that's how you can use your compass. So next is using the map, or using the compass with a map. So I sent you two different maps. So I'd like to start with this map first. It's the one that doesn't have the scale and it's a closer view. So looking at the map, part of the requirement is to understand some of the symbols on here. So, let's see. What am I looking for? Oh yes, I have a paper here. I had a paper here. Oh well.
What do you need?
It's okay. It's okay. Anyways, it's in here. So with the map, there are various symbols on here which represent what's in the general vicinity. So typically on a map, the different colors will indicate what that feature is, even if you might not necessarily know what the symbol itself is. So anything that's black is man-made, anything that's blue is water, and typically anything green indicates vegetation and plants, and white is used in clearer areas. brown is used for contour lines, which are the various lines that you'll see on here on the map. So on the map, can you identify, so looking at this map, can you identify some of the features that are man-made on here?
There is Newport Beach
Yeah.
and Irvine and Laguna Beach and a couple of cities as well.
Yeah. So, yes. Let's see. There's those. And other features are like the roads, right? That are also man-made. So, on the smaller, or the more zoomed in map, can you, let's see, English. Okay, actually, do you have a Scout handbook?
Like this?
Yeah, awesome. So, in there, if you go to page 334, it's got like a bunch of specific map symbols. Or it should be page 334, as long as it's the same edition as mine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that gives some more in-depth explanation of specific symbols. So on the two maps, can you identify some of the various symbols you notice on there?
There's a primary highway, right above the Aliso, whatever that second word is.
Viejo?
And there's another primary highway right next to the Crystal Cove.
Yeah.
And towards the Laguna Woods, there's a road. A light duty road, I think.
Yeah. Awesome. So, there's also a more zoomed in map that has more specific features in it. See, this one doesn't have the like scale and whatnot at the bottom, but it does have more specific features. So, do you want to take a look at that one and identify, because I think you're looking at the other one right now. Could you look at that one and identify some of the features on there?
There's a unimproved road all over the map.
Yeah.
There's a primary highway towards the bottom left corner of the map.
Yeah.
There's also a gravel beach, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Awesome. So, if you also, let's see. So, some other features you might notice on there are like the buildings and the water reservoirs. Yeah. So, those are identifying some of the general features on a map. So, that's also part of your requirement. And then, lastly, is using your compass with a map. So, where do I put my compass? So, this is where the idea of what you mentioned with there's being true north, and then there's how I refer to it is geographical north, and then magnetic north. So, magnetic north is where your compass points at, whereas on a map is where you'd find the geographical north. So because the two tools use different norths, you usually have to adjust one of them or the other. And then after that, you can use them in tandem in order to navigate your way around places. So I'm going to start off with the compass. Personally, I prefer this method. So if you go back to the map, which has the scale, you'll notice at the bottom it's got a small symbol where it's got an angle, kind of like this. And right there, it is where it gives you the declination angle. So declination is the difference between the geographical north and the magnetic north. On this map, it says that's roughly 11 degrees. So when you're so there's a certain point where you're standing and magnetic north and geographic north are in the same place in respect to where you are. But the further west you go, the more degrees you have to add, and the further east you go, the more degrees you subtract. So what that means is, since we're on the west coast, we add degrees. So let's go back to using east. So if you want to go directly east, since there's an 11 degree difference between magnetic north and geographic north, then you have to add 11 degrees. So that would be 101 degrees. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So by doing that, you can use the map to say, oh, this is in the direction. You can use the map to figure out, oh, this is in the direction of, say, 30 degrees. And after that, you'll realize, oh, I have to adjust for declination. So then you add 11 more degrees, and it'll be 41 degrees that you set your compass to. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Awesome. And then the other way is, if you notice on the map, it has lines that run from north to south and from east to west, right? Yeah. So what you can do instead is you can draw lines. So first you adjust, for this method, first what you do is you adjust your compass into 11 degrees. And then, you adjust your compass to point in the direction of 11 degrees. And then afterwards, once you've got it aligned, then you line up the north with the north to south. You line up the north to south with the lines on the compass, and then you line up the direction of travel arrow and then the direction of travel arrow is pointing towards the magnetic north. And then from there, you would take a ruler and you can draw in the lines on the map. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I personally prefer just adding degrees when using the compass because I find it a lot simpler than drawing out lines on a map, but either one works. So that's how you would use the compass in tandem with the map. Do you have any questions for that?
Can you explain the adding degrees again?
Okay, so adding degrees is because there's a geographic north and then there's the magnetic north. So because we're westwards, then the geographic north is 11 degrees off from where magnetic north points. So in order to compensate for that difference, we adjust on the compass by adding 11 degrees here. The reason why it's 11 degrees is because if you look at the map which I sent you, which is our local area, it shows you at the bottom, at the little arrows that point like this, it has really tiny, it's written 11 degrees, which is the degree number that is the difference between magnetic and geographic north. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. Then basically for this requirement, you'll go to your Scoutmaster and try to re-explain this to them. So do you want to give it a shot of explaining how to use a compass and map to me?
Okay. So basically, to use a compass, you point in the direction you want to go. Like, for example, if you want to go east, you have to turn it into east. And then you make it flat like this, and then you turn until the red aligns in the box, and then that way is east.
Yeah.
And for a map, say you were at Newport and you wanted to go to Irvine on the map, since it's in, you align it with the compass, and you see that it is northeast, you go northeast, I think in 240 degrees northeast.
Yeah. And then can you try to explain the whole declination and adjusting for that?
Remind me what declination means?
Declination is the difference between magnetic north and geographic north.
Oh, like so how we're on the western hemisphere, and we want to go to like eastern hemisphere. I think it's like an 11 degrees difference, right?
Um,
And,
it's not necessarily difference between the hemispheres, but it's a difference between magnetic north and geographic north. Because the location isn't the same for geographic north and magnetic north.
um, you want to go over that again?
Okay, for sure. So basically, let's see. Let me try this. This is why I have a whiteboard. Okay, there, that's visible. Okay, so basically,
Can he see? Yes.
yeah, you can see the whiteboard, right? Okay, so let's say that here's Earth, right? And then here's, I'm gonna put GN for geographic north, and then I will put MN for magnetic north. So geographic north is like right up here, and then magnetic north is over here. So we're somewhere over here, and in regards to geographic north, it's like over here, and magnetic north. So that creates an angle. Hopefully you can see that. And that angle is 11 degrees.
Can he see?
Let's see. Have you done like triangles and stuff in math, like geometry, that stuff? Okay, awesome. So, you know, like there's like angles and we measure them in degrees, that whole thing. So there's an angle of 11 degrees difference. And on your compass, it shows you 360 degrees, like on a circle. So if your map is telling you, oh, you need to go, let's say your map's telling you have to go directly north. That would be at 0 degrees, right? But if your compass is telling you, oh, north is this way, whereas your map tells you north is this way, if you follow the compass without adjusting for declination, then you'll be going 11 degrees off. Does that make sense? You'll be going this way instead of that way. So in order to compensate that, we add 11 degrees to the number that we use. So instead of going at 0 degrees, we go at 11 degrees, which will put us back on course towards north, like geographic north. Does that help you with understanding the whole idea of having like geographic north versus magnetic north? Awesome. And then the reason, so this is where we are right now. Whereas if you're over here, then geographic north and magnetic north, this angle may be entirely different. Like it could be 20 degrees.